congratulations on this extension. Why was it so important for you to start the season off?
Well, you know what? I think for me, like I said, I knew it was going to get done. I was hopeful. It wasn't a priority for me individually. I think that us as an organization to focus on the players, and then obviously with what happened with Freddie and things took precedent, which I completely understood and agreed with. But to get it done before the season, I think it just kind of, it's exciting for me and my family, and you guys know how excited I am and what it means for me to put this uniform on every day, and really respecting the Dodger tradition and the people that came before me and what it means. And so for ownership, the organization, Andrew in particular, to entrust me going forward is everything. And so without those guys, the players, the relationships that I've built, shoot with you guys, and the fans, it's like, that's why I come in every day so happy, and I'm just kind of a caretaker, for this organization, one of the caretakers. So it's, I hold that in high responsibility.
Can you confirm the length of the extension for us?
I don't want to go too far into details, but like Andrew says, that for the foreseeable future, that's the way it's going to be, yeah.
Is there any part of you that was surprised how long it took, or that it's March 21st, 4th is just now getting?
No, it wasn't, Fabian. I think that if things would have been different as far as kind of the past few months, it probably would have happened sooner. So it wasn't anything that we didn't feel was ultimately going to get done. This is the place that I knew I wanted to be, my family wanted to be, and it's good to know that it was mutual.
I told you that the last few years would have gone from when you first put on the uniform in 2015 to now, and what would you sort of say about this sort of tenure thus far?
I would be very, I'd be very grateful. I think that I'm continuing to grow as a manager. I think that the main reason is because certainly experience helps, but most importantly, just really having cemented relationships with a lot of these guys that I've got to know over the last 6 years, and the front office as well, and everyone. So I think that I'm continuing to try to get better, but to look here now, almost 7 years ago, it's pretty. I just obviously don't have a lot of words for that. It blows my mind.
When did you guys start actually negotiating on stuff, and how did that work in with, obviously you're seeing Andrew every day talking about other stuff, but just kind of how did the negotiations play out on that?
We see each other a lot, but we didn't start talking about this until I think it was right before the lockout. I think we just kind of had little kind of, we're going to try to figure something out, and then after the lockout, and then we kind of got, I don't want to say sidetracked, but other things took precedent, which is good.
Has there ever been, like, this obviously a pretty high pressure job too, has there ever been a part of you that thought about, do I just want to let this deal end or anything like that, or was it pretty easy to decide I want to still be here, long term like that?
You know what, I did think that at times, and I say that not because I didn't appreciate the job. I just felt that at times that for me to do right by the Dodgers and the players, they have to have all of me. And in a world where there's so much gray, I ask the players to be either in or out. And so, when I was talking to my wife and about this potential extension, obviously I was, signed through this year, but going forward, it was very clear that that I wanted to keep going. And so, like I said, I'm just grateful that Andrew believes in me and feels like I can help lead this team on the field.
Just because it was not this past off season, kind of is that what you're thinking about?
You know what? I think it's just. I think with anyone at different times in their lives, regarding their job, it's like, man, how long do I want to do this for? And so I think that's a fair thought that anyone should have. So again, it's not taken away from what I love to do, but it's just an honest admission.
Would you go back and warn 2016 Dave Roberts about the pressure that comes with this job? Did you understand what you were getting into?
I didn't. I think that I wouldn't change anything as far as that. Pressure, expectations is what you play for, is what you coach for, and that's a good thing. And I'd like to think I embrace it. So no, I wouldn't change a thing, but I've also understood how to kind of navigate it and manage it and keep it about the Dodgers and winning baseball games, doing right on the field, off the field, and I think our players echo that sentiment.
What do you think it is that sort of gives you that push to sort of want to be here for that next contract?
I love this organization so much, and I think that I'm very embedded with the fan base, the players, and I just feel that I can help impact lives by doing this job. And I think you guys have seen me more vocal, kind of outside of the baseball lane over the last couple years. I take a lot of pride in that, and not being lost that I'm the manager, a baseball manager, and not a political voice or social voice. But I do believe that I'm in a position to kind of do some good things off the field and impact lives, you know, whether it's with the Dodger Foundation, kids, and minorities, and people in need. So that overarching loving the Dodgers, I think, is part of it.
You went on record recently just saying, you know, this is your year.
Yep.
Why, I know each season the team is not playing touring, but why do you feel that this is your year?
You know, it's something that I just believe, I see it very clear. In 2020, I felt that our guys had the combination of urgency, the talent in the room, the undeniable focus to win a championship. And I'm seeing semblance of that this year. Certainly easy for me to say that when you have a room of talented players like we do have. I just am not afraid to put my thoughts out to the public, and the fun part, the hard part, is the day-to-day to get better each day. So, and when I feel that our players are in lockstep with me and what I feel, I think it gives us a much better chance to execute our ultimate goal.
Have you talked to someone after the Dan Patrick Show interview about kind of that they said brought it up to you what you said? Or?
No, I haven't, and I just didn't feel the need to. You know, I think that there's a humility part that should certainly come into play, but I also believe that there's a belief and a confidence that players and managers should have. So I wouldn't take it back. It's what I really believe, and I think that there's other managers in baseball that feel that way, and it's no disrespect to any other team or any other manager. But I do believe when you put something out there in the universe, it raises the bar for yourself individually, collectively, to try to attain it. And it doesn't give you any other out. And so I'm not afraid of that.
Today, everything.
Mookie's in there today, Bill.
Finally.
So there's no retraction.
You finally got him to play.
Mookie's in there. Mookie's in there, and again, it's just certain guys you just know they're going to get ready when the bell rings, and he knows what it takes to get himself ready. So he is in there today. He'll take 3 at-bats.
I know it's not set in stone, but what do you like about having Mookie, Freddie, then Trey be the top 3?
It's not set in stone, but it's certainly the way I'm thinking right now. I think that just Mookie's comfort level to get the lineup going, to hit at the top, Trey's ability to drive runs in, to get on base, his openness, and then also I think that with Freddie, you know, in between those guys, I think is important. So to have the right, left potentially with Max Muncy right there, it just posed a lot of problems for opposing teams.
How do you feel ready on the 9 today? Pretty ready opening day lineup.
It is, and you know, it's when you look at the middle and then you look at the bottom part of the lineup, I think the main thing I want to get across is I played with a guy in 2004 that in 2003 was a batting champion. Bill Miller won a batting title. And I just want to make sure that our guys understand that, you know, it's a very deep lineup. And the thing I'm very fortunate is we have guys that understand that. So wherever they're hitting in the lineup, that they can impact the game. But you look at the length, I mean, it's, you know, there's not a lot of teams that can compare to that on paper. But like we said, you still got to go out there and play the game.
Is 4 through 9 kind of similar to what you think it might look like too for opening day?
You know what? I right now off the top of my head, I don't know 4 through 9. So I know 4. I think Will's in the 5. Is it Will or JT? Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Jack. I don't know. I guess I probably should know, but I don't.
You'll see on the
Lot going
scoreboard.
on today.
Yeah, that's right.
You'll see on the scoreboard.
With Julio, what's the plan for him today?
Julio, I think it's 2 innings, and he's looked really good, and I'm really encouraged with him. And if he can get into the 3rd inning, that'd be great. But that's kind of the stress and how he's throwing the baseball.
Dave, we talked about Freddie a lot already. I just got into Phoenix, so I'm going to ask you. He's been here a couple days now. Your impressions? What have you learned about him? How's kind of fitting into the ball?
You know what? He's fitting in really well. I think certainly a guy that's been around for so long and played in all-star games, so he knows a lot of our guys. He's very low maintenance, and not that I expected him to be high maintenance, but you know what he's told our trainers is, don't expect to see me. I still like you, I still love you, but don't expect to see me in the training room. As far as the weight room, he does a little bit of maintenance. He's pretty turnkey. He just wants to play and post. So getting to talk to him and know him and meeting his wife Chelsea and their family, it's been great. And obviously he's mentioned how it's been difficult, you know, not being in a Braves uniform, which is completely understandable. But I do know that he's looking forward to the season. And as we get into the season, that transition is going to be even easier because it's just about winning baseball games.
Dave, you're still keeping that threshold of starters, 575, or some guys will be ahead, behind, and you talk about piggybacking.
Yeah, I think Walker will be kind of where you would normally see a starter when we break camp. I think Clayton, I mean, I know he doesn't like hard numbers, nor do I, but you know, a 4+ situation, his first turn, I think is very fair. I think Julio right around 4, something like that would be, I think, is attainable. And then with Andrew, I would say that's fair as well. So I don't believe that the kind of 6 and 90 and all that stuff for our guys. And as far as the piggyback, Ozzy, we don't have a dedicated 1 and 1B, 2 and 2B kind of dedicated for that particular game. But we have guys that are going to kind of pick up length innings after, you know, 1, 2, or 3, whoever that might be.
Kind of going back to yesterday when you made Walker the opening day starter. Have you talked to Clayton yet? Is it just a conversation you want to have with him? Just to kind of get his thought.
I'll talk to Clay. I'll talk to Clay today. But I know Clayton really well, and it's not something that he feels that we need to ask his permission. He respects, you know, my decision, our decision as an organization. And so, like I said, I'll talk to him today, just kind of in passing, but I don't think it'll be to get his approval. Right. But like I said, I think Clayton is one of the happier people to see Walker be able to take down an opening day.
Yeah, I guess it was mostly just to see.
Yeah, that's fair. No. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that today.
Muncy, Smith, Turner, Bellinger, Golly.
We're back.
And Lux the knuckle.
Man, that's a good line. Huh?
Exclude the top.
What would you have done different? What would you have done different?
No, I think that was,
Guy who writes that lineup deserves an extension.
Hey, good players make a good manager. You better have good players. And I got a lot of good players.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, thank you guys.